Yo, 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 what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the boy of the franchise player, Double B Bablet. I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself from Wicked Crazy Pinfalls, your boy Throwback. And today, man, we're going to bring on a gentleman who's not only a huge hip hop star, prolific hip hop artist, man. You've heard his stuff all over the place. The dude's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Man, the dude does video games. The dude loves professional wrestling. He is a Twitch superstar. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring my boy in. Mega Ram, yo, welcome to the Roundtable, man. How you doing?
Hey, what's up? That was a great introduction. What's going on with y'all?
Oh man, it's an honor and privilege to get you on the show, man. I follow you on Twitch. I watch your gaming. I see how you get down on the gaming. I watch, on Twitter, man. You're a huge wrestling fan, and that's the reason why I wanted to get you on the stream. But you know what? People know about your music. They know you're like a prolific hip hop artist, man. They know you do everything in the music industry. But what they don't know, that you are a huge wrestling fan. And not only are you a huge wrestling fan, but you're a huge gamer too, man. Let's talk about that.
Yes, that's my goal, to make sure everybody knows that. I take all those things that I love and try to put them all into my creations. You know what I'm saying? That's really what I've been spending the last few years doing. It's like making music is fun, but what if I can make music about the things that I love, or try to work my music into these things I love, like video games, like wrestling, like, my favorite cartoons, anime, things like that. So that's really what I've been on lately. And it's just been, it's been creating a whole new fun lane for me to just be able to do what I want and also have fun at the same time. So it's like, now I get to make music for wrestlers. I get to make music for wrestling companies. I get to make music for indie games, for AAA bigger games as well, and it's been a really fun ride, man. And it's been dope. Like, I gotta say, like, this is a path I didn't really see for myself, but it's definitely taken me into some really wild places. I just came back from WrestleMania. The week before that was at PAX East, one of the biggest gaming events in Boston.
Yep, my backyard. I know that.
You know it? Okay. Yeah, so like
I couldn't get tickets though because they got sold out so fast.
They sold out super fast, man. And so yeah, to be able to have all those things come together at the same times, for me, it's been really dope. Like, I just been able to give my all to all the different things I love, and it's been working out well, man. I gotta say. So I'm gonna just keep doing it.
Man,
I want to commend for your passion too, because of the fact that from your background and becoming a teacher, and when you retired in 2011, all the way up to your current fame and stardom, and which is great. You could tell how much passionate you are with the music. You could also see how much passion in your projects and stuff. And, it's commendable and an honor to actually like talk to you about all this stuff. I know I'm marking and geeking out. I don't give a crap, but you don't get in wrestling and stuff like that. For me, obviously, if you see the background behind me, I don't get a lot of time to talk to people about video games, anime, and stuff like that. Because me and Blood have this conversation sometimes where I said wrestling and anime go hand in hand. Anime tells really good stories. Wrestling does too. And then 100%. I get people who are like, no, they're different and all that stuff. So when I have somebody who has the same like mind as me, I get excited because of the fact that it's one of those things. It's very rare to see somebody that's passionate as I am about all these things. I don't rap. I'm not musically inclined, but the stuff like talking about Dragon Ball, movies, stuff like that, that's what stuff that Wicked Crazy Pinfalls is basically bound on. Now that it's part of the Roundtable network, it's just one big thing. How did your passion for wrestling come about?
Man, I'm from Philadelphia, and that's a big wrestling town, and I can just remember going and staying over my cousin's house on the weekends, and he would have a poster. One day he had a poster of Jimmy Superfly Snuka doing the big splash, from the top of the cage. And I was just like, what's that? And he's like, oh, let me show you. And then he would turn on wrestling. And every Saturday morning, man, I was just hooked. And then wrestling would come to town, or the first few WrestleManias were in Atlantic City, not too far from Philly. So if we couldn't go, we would go watch it somewhere on closed circuit TV or pay-per-view. And man, my cousin was so into it, and his passion for it is what got me going in it. And I was just like, I gotta get more of this, And so over the years, it just stayed with me, man. Like, every fan kind of jumps in and out. You're like, all right, you spend a few years not listening or not watching, or a year or so, and then you come back. So the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, is really when I got my foot back into it. You know, we flipped the channel back and forth between WCW.
I remember that.
You know, like, wait, you gotta see what happens. Oh, turn back. You know, and so from there to it just never really went away. And then like my world started colliding. I was already making music. I was traveling. I was doing that, and then I got some of my music got placed on TNA Wrestling. A song I did called Splash Woman got placed in like a skit with the Pope. And I was
know what
just like,
you're talking about.
and I was like, wait, what? Like this like chiptune rap song is playing in the background while he's like at a strip club, supposedly in the skit. And I was like, what? And so it made me start watching again. So I started watching TNA again. I started watching wrestling again. And then Xavier Woods hits me up. He's like, yo, I'm working with this company NXT and they're letting us pick our own music. So I would love to use some of your music. And I'm like, what? And so I just start seeing my worlds come together slowly. And from there, it was it. Like once I got cool with Woods, like he was like, hey, you want to come to WrestleMania? You want to come to a show? And then once I went and saw it up close, I was like, yo, I'm in all over again. So
man, it's a different feel.
Yeah,
it's a different feel when you're watching on TV because like I've been a wrestler for 31 years and I've pretty much wrestled everywhere. Japan, Mexico, Canada, you name it, I've been there. And it's weird when you're like watching it on TV and then you're actually there.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean like as a fan. I mean like you're in the locker room, you're in the back. You're like, whoa, this is crazy.
Even that, yeah, there's levels to it. Yeah. So like, you know, watching on TV, of course you get a fun experience, but then going there, seeing the pyro, seeing the people go crazy, you start feeling it. And then you get to the point where if you're ever able to be backstage or just to see how it works back there, it's a whole nother level of love to it. So it's been crazy. This weekend, I was fortunate enough to be able to do like pretty much every piece of what happens in wrestling. I started the weekend off commentating, doing commentary for Defy. I did some music.
My boy, Matt Farmer.
Matt Farmer looked out, got me involved in that. I did some music for the event that they did at Suplex Wrestling Store. Then we get to go to Wale Mania where I'm performing. There's other wrestlers there, there's other rappers there, and we're having a good time. And then to go to WrestleMania night 1, sit down and enjoy the show. And then for night 2 to get like the ultimate call where somebody's like, hey, if you want, you could sit in on the drums during Roman Reigns' entrance because, like, you know, I think it'll be kind of big. We need as many people as we can. We need all hands on deck. I was like, oh, say less. So then to like get to walk through Gorilla, get to see everybody, get to like walk out and see the stage from that side of things. So I really got the full range of emotions, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, if I didn't love wrestling before this weekend, man, I'd be a lifelong hooked fan because everything I got to see, it was amazing. Like, it was just such an incredible time.
But you've been involved in a lot more than just that. Like, I remember the very first time I saw you was I saw you at Wale Mania a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I tell you right now, there is no experience at WrestleMania weekend. I wrestled 14 times that weekend.
Oh my God.
But the one thing other than getting my jaw almost broken, the one thing I remember the most about that was Wale Mania in Orlando, Florida. That was the funnest time I've ever had up in the VIP looking down. It was a freaking amazing, man.
That was a great venue too, because it had like the upper level where you can kind of look down. Yeah. And I remember at the end of the night, like we just didn't know, like it was just one of those times where you could be like having a drink at the bar and turn around and Chris Jericho's right there or something. Like it was just a crazy time. Like everybody was out chilling. And it was such a good time, man. Like I told all my friends, like if you're going to do anything that weekend, get a ticket to Wale Mania. Like that
I was there with Shad. I was there with Shad Gaspar and JTG, Willie Mack. And we were upstairs on the third level, on the top level, and Jericho was up there.
I remember that, and like that was
Kelly was there.
People were like, "Man, Jericho didn't pull up," and everybody's
like,
"Yes, he did.
He pulled up." Him and Kelly were upstairs with us, and I discovered something about Chris Jericho that night that I will never ever forget. I have to talk to you about that off the air because I ain't trying to. But it was wild, man. It was wild.
That's funny.
But dude, like you've been involved with so much stuff, man. You did the music for Woods when Woods became the King of the Ring.
Yes.
That was hot. That was
That
hot.
was, man, thank you. I mean, it didn't last too long, but I got my moment. And Woods always said, man, like if I ever get an opportunity to change the music or do something, like I'm gonna hit you up. And I'd be like, all right, man, don't worry about it if you can't. And he's like, nah, man, I'm gonna do it. And so I remember when King of the Ring was going on, it was in Saudi, and so the time was so different. And I remember him calling me at like 4 a.m, and I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, yo, I think they about to do it. And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, man. So just get ready. If you get a call, like just get ready. I need some music. And sure enough, man, like they did it. I remember I was checking out of my hotel. So it was maybe 11 a.m. our time. And I'm watching on my phone as I'm checking out, like, yeah, I'm checking out. But my boy's about to like he's wrestling, and I'm watching on my phone, like, yeah. And I start yelling all excited in the right in the lobby. And then sure enough, man, the next day, somebody at WWE was like, all right, so he says you're the guy that's gonna make some music. And I was like, yep.
Yep.
And sure enough, man, it was on TV that Friday for SmackDown. And that stuff moves so fast. You know how wrestling moves. Everything is just so quick. Everything's
Quick,
such to
quick.
change. And so you just gotta be ready, man. And I remember writing the song, and then he said, I need you to change one more thing. And this was on Thursday morning. And he's like, we want this to air Friday. So I need this change right now. And I was like, all right. So I had to like run to the studio, get it done. And then they put it on TV that Friday. And man, I couldn't believe it. Like, to be a part of something for so long, you watch it, you're loving it, and then you're actually in the show. You know what I'm saying? Like that was awesome to me. I still got like the video of him coming out to that and like just the chills. And he's like singing the song, bow down, like he's so excited about it. And we talk about a guy who like lives, eats, and breathes the business, like Woods is one of them. Like he's always thinking of ideas. He showed me like notepads in his phone. Like, all right, so here's what I do if I win King of the Ring. Here's what I do the next day. And here's the next week. Here's the next week. Here's the next week. Here's the next week. And here's the next week. And he has full pages scripted out of what he was going to do. And man, like they saw the vision and went with it. So it was just really dope to see, and just to be a little piece of that is real cool.
Now I'm gonna pivot a little bit, being a video game and stuff. It's insane that you've worked for Microsoft, doing stuff for them with the Halo franchise, stuff you've done with Capcom. So especially with how big like PAX Sunnies you've mentioned about that, and you doing your Twitch stuff and everything. What is the one game that you're like you go back to constantly? And even if it's a wrestling game, which game is that?
A game that I've worked on, or just any game?
Both, either or.
Wow. I mean, I'm a retro gamer, so like I love the old 8-bit Nintendo stuff. Super
so
Mario
good.
3 is still the greatest game of all time to me. Like Mario 3, if I see it on, if somebody powers it on, I just have to play it. Like that game is so fun. The graphics are all big and bright and colorful. So Mario 3 is my jam forever. There's the Mega Man games, of course, who I'm named for. Mega Man 2, one of my favorites. I still stream that like once a week.
Come on, 3 is better than 2.
You're right, though. 3 is better than 2. But 2 is just a special one for me. The music in 2 is phenomenal. But 3 is a better game. You're right. They added the slide. And that's what made the game so much better. But yeah, like what else? Like a game that I have to go back to that I've been a part of is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shredder's Revenge, which came out a couple years ago. I was just playing that on my Steam Deck when I was flying home from Mania. Like it's just, that game holds up so well. It's beautiful, like the colors, the sprites, the music. My man T Lopes did an amazing job on the soundtrack, and then he hit me up to do like the ending credits rap, which was super fun. And so that's one of the, I don't like to touch my own work too much. Like I DJ a lot and I don't play my own music at all, like unless somebody asks. It seems weird and kind of like a big ego boost to like play your own music. You know what I mean? Like you don't play your own matches when you're like out with like your friends.
It's
like,
weird.
Hey,
it's weird.
You know what I mean?
It's ask you
weird?
about it too.
Your own work is so weird. So I'll try not to, but if people ask, then I'll do it. But that's one I would say that I had some hand in that I'd still play, is the Turtles game for sure.
Yeah, that's an awesome game. My buddy plays it all the time, and he sucked.
I got one for you. Street Fighter or King of Fighters? Which one's better and why?
Well, I'm gonna say Street Fighter all day, because Street Fighter 2 was like really my first introduction to fighting games.
Mhm.
And like we always say, like Street Fighter 2 was like the hip hop, game. It
Mm-hmm.
was the streets game. It was the hoods game. You know what I mean? Like it just was,
I knew you were gonna say that.
and they didn't really like market it that way. It's just the way it happened. Like I guess because it was always in like some grimy laundromat somewhere.
Oh, you was yep.
And you'd have to like push and shove your way to get to the front, to play. And like it was hardcore. So yeah, I think, man, Street Fighter 2 just gives me so many great memories. But I do love King of Fighters. But like, I just saw a crazy clip the other day on Twitter that somebody was showing from King of Fighters, and they had a basketball playing dude on there.
Yes.
And the dude would be like shooting jump shots into the ball and come in front of you, hit you. I was like, yo, this is weird. But
I just played it the other day. That's what made me think about it.
I thought that was hilarious. Like they put a basketball player in a fighting game who throws basketballs. Like that's hilarious, though. Street Fighter would never go there. But
So I know you got a stream you got to get to, and I don't want to keep you too long, but I gotta ask you, Ninja Gaiden, which one?
ooh, that's funny. I just did a little video on Ninja Gaiden.
I know,
Ninja
I was
Gaiden,
watching it.
Ninja Gaiden 1 is so hard, but has great music. I think it's 3.
I think it's 3.
I think it's 3. I'm trying to remember like what the cover looked like, but I remember 3 being the one that was like had great music. I think by then you get used to the gameplay style, you know what you're doing. Yeah, I think Ninja Gaiden 3 was the jam right there. I think it was the one was like the pirate ship of doom or something like that.
One went like the snow field or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 3 for me. First one's great too. Like they had a lot of great moments. The Ninja Gaiden changed the game, man. I was talking about it in my video how like those cutscenes, like games weren't doing that before then. Like putting up little, still photos and the storyline going on. Like people weren't doing that, and Tecmo was so good at the cinema stuff. The Tecmo Bowl,
Tecmo Bowl, yeah.
like you throw a pass and they're like, shh, they show a guy throwing, and they show a guy catch it, boom, and like that was really cool. Like they would add the cinematics to the game, and so yeah, Tecmo was ahead of their time with that. So shout out to them. But yeah, I think 3. I don't know, something about the third part. Usually in most games, part 3 is where they really get it. Like Zelda, for me, Link to the Past is
to the past.
You know what I mean? Like the third one is like it's the sweet spot in most.
And that's the Nintendo where you had to blow the cartridge and everything.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo.
Castlevania 3 is my jam too. Like I don't know. I think it's something special about 3. Mega Man 3, throwback.
Mega Man 3.
Yeah.
Like it's like I feel like 3 is when they really get it. When they like, all right, we lock in, we know exactly what we're doing, how to make this better. And like, yeah, by the time you get to the third one, usually perfection. If you make it to a third,
I was gonna say, because a
lot of games don't make it there.
A lot of games don't make it.
So I got 2 questions too, if you don't mind, since you have a short amount of time. The first one is wrestling related. How did the connection with Cody's theme song that you created and blew up like crazy? Like we were even talking about it off stream a lot of the time. How did the connections with that happen? Obviously you have connections in WWE and stuff, but what was your reaction to Cody's reaction when you saw everything blowing up? And
Man.
As an anime fan, I have to ask this: what anime are you watching right now, and what anime are you dying to make a music thing off of? Oh, 3. Sorry, 3 questions.
Okay, that's 3. All right. The Cody thing, man, it was just like most things that happen in my life, it's like a domino of like a few other things that I've maybe done in the past. So I got to go way back. I met Cody probably 2018 or so at like a Starcast or something like that. Me and Kenny Omega are pretty good friends. We talk a lot about video games mostly. Any wrestler I'm a fan of is usually a gamer. So, or that I actually talk to, they're major gamers, because all they're doing is traveling, so they got to pick up a game to pass the time. So yeah, I think I met him through Kenny. He was just like, a real cool guy. And then a small world is through Woods. We were all in a Clash of Clans group together. Like we used to play this mobile game and called Clash of Clans, and I was really bad at it. Like Woods was in it, a couple of the refs, Cody, Cesaro, a few other guys were in this group.
Wait, was Jason Aries in that group?
Maybe.
Because I think he invited me.
Jason's the one who invited me. Yeah.
He invited me to that group.
That's crazy. And so I was pretty trash at this game. So eventually they kicked me out. But I was like, sorry, y'all. Like, I just wanted to hang out, and like nobody would chat or anything. So you really didn't know who was who. Like people weren't talking, but they just play the game, and then they would see my score, and like I was always last. And so eventually I got kicked out. But I brought that up to Cody when I saw. I was like, "Oh man, you were in the group. Ah, that's what's up, Nikki Clan." They always talked about it, and so that was cool. And so fast forward, man. Anytime I've seen him, man, like Cody's just the best dude with the best memory. So he sees you and he's just like, "Hey, brother, what's up?" We just start talking, and I'm like, he probably says that to everybody. And then we start talking, and he's like pulling out specific things. Oh man, didn't I see you in Phoenix when you did this? Blah blah. So I don't know. So I put out the song. And fast forward, Downstate, the band first heard it and showed it love. And they were like, man, we hear a lot of people remixing Kingdom, but this one was really well done. And I was like, cool, man, thank you. And then Cody retweeted it, and I was like, what? Like I didn't expect that. And this was like the day before his match. Like I didn't expect that. And then
that was the other day I saw that. I was like,
yeah.
what?
And then to go to WWE world and Cody was signing, and my boy was like, yo, man, like Cody just showed you love. You should go say what's up. And I'm always like, nah, bro. Like they don't know me, man. He just hit a retweet button and kept it moving. He don't know who I am, And he's like, man, go ahead and say something. So then his handler, my boy pulls his handler over, like, hey, man, this guy's his name's Mega Ran. He did this song, and the dude just cut him off, like, yo, Mega Ran, yo, I love his stuff. Yo, bring him over here right now. And so he's like, yo, Ran, come on. And I'm like, oh God, did he get me in something weird? And I started walking over. He's like, oh my God, Cody's been talking about your song like all morning, man. This is crazy. And and then Cody sees me. He's like, hey, come over here, man. And I was just like, what is happening right now? Like, this is wild.
Like, this is my life for real?
Yeah, like, what is my life? I ask myself this a lot. I'm like, what is my life? Like, this is the stuff I would do for fun, for free, just to pass the time. And then like to get it to the people that actually make the stuff and make these decisions is really unreal. So Cody was just like, man, I love the song. You did this line about Arn. It really popped me. Like, yo, that was hilarious. And so we just talked for a minute, and like, that's it. It just kind of blew from there, man. And like, but again, it was like years in the making, you know what I'm saying? Like these little time, like that's why I tell people about like showing up, being there, being present. And then when that moment comes, you can be like, remember this, remember that. And then you start connecting the dots.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the story of my life, man. Same with video games. And yeah, it's just like it pops together like that for me. Like, oh, I went to this PAX 10 years ago and I saw this guy and he told me he was going to be working on the game. And then when he finally got the game done, he hits me up and says, hey, do you want to make music for it? So, and man, it's just like planting those seeds so early on are just like so important. So, but yeah, what was the second question?
I'm sorry, man. It's just like I
said, something great, man.
Yeah, it's very hard to find people that are like in tune with the same stuff I am. So,
right.
But the other question is, what anime have you been watching that you can't put down? Like mine recently was Eminence in the Shadows, which is really good. And what's one anime song or anime itself, like for their theme or anything that you want to do musically for your own taste and just for fun or anything?
Man, you know what I really love? The newest one for me that I just got into that I can't get enough of is Chainsaw Man. And what I love about Chainsaw Man, I mean, it's a great story. It's a little bit of fan service, gets a little silly, but I love that as a music guy, they change the ending theme music like every episode.
Yeah.
You're going to hear something new. And then every episode, I'm sitting there with my phone, like, what is this? Like writing it down, being like, wait, what did they use this time? So I love that about like anytime, any piece of material like that's going to be coming weekly, if they can do something to make me wonder what's going to happen next, then I'm all about it. Like the new X-Men. I don't know if y'all started watching that.
I have to get started on X-Men 97.
So good.
Oh man,
I'm waiting on My Hero too.
Oh yes, My Hero. But I won't give you any spoilers. But best thing about it is you have to watch the intro every time, because the intro, it's the classic music.
Changes every time.
But yes, there will be something different about every introduction where you're like, wait a minute, who that? Or what happened? Why they moved him over there? So it's little things that happen that keep you into it. So just remember that when you get to the show, like don't skip the intro ever, because it's epic and there's gonna be an Easter egg in it.
Well, the suggestion, because I give a couple of suggestions to people about certain animes. The new season of My Hero Academia is going to be insane.
Yeah.
You ever heard of
all
The
about
Jobless
that life.
Reincarnated?
No, what was that again? Say that again.
The Jobless Reincarnated.
The Jobless Reincarnated.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna look it
really
up.
good. You got to watch it. There in the second season, and then like I tell people all the time, Eminence in the Shadows has 2 seasons out. That's amazing.
Okay.
I actually got into Shangri-La Frontier.
Yes. Okay. I've heard a lot of people talk about Shangri-La Frontier. I'm gonna make a note of this Jobless Reincarnation, because it's I think I got it on my list. And so once like 2 people tell me about something, I'm like, all right, now I need to get on it.
It's like a pair of Jordans. If you see it twice, you gotta buy them.
And I love that it's not
pretty much.
it can't be something like One Piece where I'm jumping in and it's like 79 episodes already, because
Over
it's
100. Yeah,
it's going to throw me. Yeah, like I can't catch up to something with 1,000 episodes. So this being 2 seasons is perfect for me. I'm always moving around. I need something to watch when I travel, and like just keeping up with something is a little difficult for me if it gets over 20-30 videos, you know. So yeah, dang, that's really good advice. I'm about to start that tonight.
Yeah, and
Yo, and I'm on that X-Men 97, man. X-Men 97 is fire. I'm telling you. Shout out to Julian Smith on the podcast for hipping me to the X-Men 97. He told me, yo, let it stack up like 4 or 5 episodes, and then just take a Sunday and binge watch it.
That's the way to do it, because they're short and sweet, but
like
they're gonna hit you hard, so you're gonna want something else right after. So
exactly,
it's definitely good to let it build. I also do a podcast on that called X-Pod 97. Me and my man Marcos, we review each episode. We try to keep it spoiler free, but sometimes it's hard not to. But check it out, X-Pod 97, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yo, man, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and just lace us right now with everything that you are doing, where they can find you, where they can hit you up, where they can friend you, where they can follow you, where they can drop some bits in the chat, all them places. Because I want to see you blow up even more than you already have.
Oh man, I appreciate that. So I stream 3-4 times a week at twitch.tv/Megaran, all one word. I'm always doing something different, whether I'm DJing or playing video games. You can hit me on Twitch. Let's see. There's Twitter. I'm pretty active on that. Twitter is @Megaran. It looks like Meg Ryan when you're looking at it real quickly, because it's like a capital M and a capital R. So people are like, does that say Meg Ryan? No, it does not. It's Megaran. Also, I'm on Instagram @Megaran with an underscore. You can go to my site, megaran.com. I drop new music every couple of weeks on your Spotify or Apple Music, wherever you get that. And as I said, X-Pod 97 is wherever you get podcasts. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, things like that. And I'm always touring. So you can go to megaran.com/shows and find out where I'm going to be. This weekend, I'll be in DC. So anybody on the East Coast, please come on out. I'm doing a free show at Prince George Community College with my man K Murdoch. We're going to do a talk about video game history and video games and hip hop and how to make the connection. And we're going to do a live concert. So that, and then some big tours coming the rest of the year. Hopefully going to Europe, going to the UK, maybe Japan. I'm staying busy. So
when you hit in Portland, Oregon, that's what I need to know.
Oh, okay.
Better yet, when I'm going to say this now, when Pat Sound comes back next time, dude, I'll make it a point to hit you.
Better see you there. That's right. Portland, actually, this September, I'm doing PAX West, which is in Seattle, and then the next day I'm coming to Portland. So I'll hit you up.
Shoot me the info. I'll make Seattle's a 3-hour drive. I'm wrestling there this weekend. Next weekend, I'll drive up there. I got no problem.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah,
so I will see you either in Seattle or I'll see you in Portland.
Both. I will come and support my man.
That's what's up.
I look out for my people.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. Thank you, Megaran, for joining us. Your boy Throwback. I'm the franchise. Man, we will see y'all when we see y'all. And make sure when we see y'all, y'all doing good. Peace.